Templeman in 7,
The
Dan
top
in the
drivers
8.
are Old Guys Rule, Vince Lim, and Tail Whip.
Caution over by Chad. Caution over by Chad. Clear.
After 1 minute left, the top
Caution
drivers
over
are
at
Old
Karen.
Guys
Caution
Rule,
over at
Zach
Karen.
Marcinkiewicz, and Vince
Clear.
Lim.
Caution after the sweeper. Caution after the sweeper. Clear. All
After
right,
1 minute
2:30 on the
31
clock.
seconds,
Eric leading
the
us
top
around Ryan in
drivers
the 2,
are
Dan
Old
in the
Guys
3,
Rule,
Zach in
Ryan
the 4,
Johnson,
Vince in the
and
5,
Dan
Todd Murray in
Jefferson.
the 6, Todd Templeman in the 7, Mike in the 8. Two minutes now on the clock.
2 minutes left. After 2 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Ryan Johnson, and Dan Jefferson.
1:55. So Eric still leading us around Ryan in the 2, Dan out in the 3, Vince in the 4, Zach in the 5. Mike and Vince not battling out in the 4 and the 5 spot.
After 2 minutes
Caution
32
over at Karen,
seconds,
caution at
the top
Karen.
drivers are Dan Jefferson,
Stay wide,
Old Guys
stay
Rule,
wide.
and Ryan Johnson.
Clear. All right, 1:05 now on the clock. Dan leading us around, Eric in the 2, Ryan in 3, Vince in the 4, Mike
1
in the 5,
minute
Zach
left.
in the 6, Todd
After
in
3
the 7,
minutes 2
and
seconds,
the other Todd in the 8.
top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Old Guys
55.
Rule, and Ryan Johnson.
Gap between 1 and 2 now, 0.1 seconds. Back between 2 and 3.9 seconds. Between 3 and 4, 9.6
45
seconds.
seconds left.
40 seconds now on the clock. Top 3 drivers all out on a 17-lap pace. Dan 17.4.11, Eric 17.4.11, Ryan 17.4.14.
30 seconds left. After 3 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Dan Jefferson, and Ryan Johnson.
15 seconds
15
now on the
seconds
clock.
left.
Fast lap goes to Mike at 13.670. Eric and Dan both now 17.410 is the pace. Gap between 1 and 2, 0.6 seconds. Keep going until she calls you done.
Dan Jefferson done. Todd Murray done. Zach Marcinkiewicz done. Tail Whip done.
All right, that's a race.
Guys Rule
Drop
done.
your cars off, get right back
Vince
out
Lim
to
done.
Marshall. Up
Todd
next is
Templeman done.
21.5.
All drivers are finished. Ryan Johnson done. The race is completed.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking the same thing. I noticed that after I pressed start, and the whole thing kind of
Braden
fell apart.
Edwards.
So I will have that separated for the next round.
Terry Brown.
No, you did all right. All right, let's go ahead and get drivers checked in here.
David
Someone
Pyle.
at the end of the straight there, someone right here, someone kind of in the middle-ish area,
Seth
and
Rhodes.
kind of at that dot. You're going to have to move when we start the race, but after we get started, you'll be fine. I think we'll be good aside from that.
Nikki Rottenbuck.
All right. Jeremy, can you go across the line real quick? Okay.
Jeremy Smedley.
I just need Andrew to check in.
Andrew Tuttle.
All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and get lined up. Order is going to go Graydon, Andrew, Terry, Seth, Nikki, David, and Jeremy. All right. Again, this will be a call-out start, so don't just all take off. All right. Driver's ready. Marshall's ready. Graydon on the tone. Less than 5. Or 4th tone. Okay. Andrew. Terry. Seth, Nikki, David, Jeremy. Let me see if I can fix that for next round. I'm not sure why you guys are on 4th tone, but yeah. If not, we'll just remember that for the rest of the evening, but I will try to fix that in between rounds.
After 30
All
seconds.
right, 30 seconds.
The top
David on the 1,
drivers
Terry
are
in the
David
2,
Pyle,
Graydon out for
Terry
the 2,
Brown,
Terry in the 3,
and
Seth in
Graydon
the 4, Andrew in
Edwards.
the 5, Nikki in the 6, Jeremy in the 7. Fast lap out of Terry, 15.242. 3 minutes 20 on the clock. Top 3 drivers all on a 16 lap pace. 4 and 5 on 15 lap pace. 6 and 7 on a 14 lap pace. 7 down on a 12 lap pace. We got 3 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. Everyone gapped out by about a half second or more.
After 1 minute, 3 minutes left. The top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Seth Rhodes.
A little bit of a short course driving happening there in the infield. Seth wishing he had a short course out here tonight, it looks like.
After 1 minute 30 seconds, the
All
top
right,
drivers are
2:25
Terry
now
Brown,
on the clock.
Graydon Edwards, and Seth
15
Rhodes.
second fast lap right now. Terry, Graydon in the 2. Graydon 3 seconds back. David in the 3 spot. 15.412 is his pace. Everyone else about a lap down from there. 2:10 on the clock. Both fast laps are 15 flats out of Terry and Graydon. Up next after this will be
10
short
minutes
course.
left.
Again, we're running
the top
4-minute
drivers
quals,
are Terry Brown,
5-minute
Graydon
mains.
Edwards, and David Pyle.
David, you have the leader coming up on you. Please let by. Thank you.
After
All
2
right,
minutes
caution to Karen.
31
Caution
seconds,
to Karen. Stay
the
inside.
top
Karen,
drivers
stay
are
inside.
Terry
Stay
Brown,
inside.
Graydon Edwards, and David Pyle.
Clear. 1:20 on the clock. Running order currently is Terry, Graydon, Seth, Andrew, David, Nikki, and Jeremy.
1 minute left. After 3 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Andrew Tuttle. "45 seconds left.
Caution inside on Karen. Clear.
"30 seconds left. After 3 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon
Caution
Edwards,
sweeper,
and
caution
Seth
sweeper.
Rhodes.
Stay wide, stay wide, stay wide, stay wide. Stay wide, stay wide, stay wide. Clear. Almost taking out Zach there.
15 seconds
I don't know if
left.
you could handle a 21.5 to the foot. That's a lot of speed right there. A lot of power. All right, 5 seconds now on the clock. Terry still leading us around Graydon in the 2. David in the 3, Seth in the 4, Andrew in the 5, Nikki in the 6, Jeremy in the 7. Keep going until she calls you done.
Graydon Edwards done.
Caution sweeper,
Seth
caution
Rhodes
sweeper.
done.
Stay inside, stay inside, stay inside on sweeper, stay inside on sweeper, stay inside, stay inside, stay
Terry
inside, stay
Brown
inside.
done. Andrew Tuttle
Inside,
done.
inside, inside, inside. Track still live, track still live. Keep going, keep going. Reminder to stay on the driver's stand until all
Jeremy
cars are
Smedley done.
finished. Track is still live, track is still live. Still waiting on 2 cars, still waiting on 2 cars.
Nikki Rottenbeck done.
All right, there we go.
All
Drop your
drivers
cars
are
off,
finished.
get right back out to Marshall.
David Pyle done. The race is completed.
13-5 short courses up. Looking for Mike, Rob, Vince, and Brent. You didn't sign up for it. You did? Oh. Just jump in. Are you charged? Is your car good to go? Oh, then just jump in. Yeah. No, you're fine. Just jump in. It's low key tonight. It's not a series or anything. It's just.
Rob Hunter. Vince
If it was
Lim.
serious, I'd be racing.
Tail whip.
But all my cars are broken, so I'm not. And instead of fixing them,
Brent
I'm building
Edwards.
a whole new car. I've got so many broken cars right now, it's not even funny. All my crawlers are broken, my buggy's broken, my short course is broken. Actually, no, my stock buggy's fine. I just don't have tires. Good tires, anyways. I burned through all my good sets at Invite. All right, let's just get Andrew across the line here. Short course guys, do you want to like line rush this, or do you want to actually qualify? Andrew, can you go across the line?
Andrew Tuttle.
All right, order's going to go Mike, Rob, Vince, Brent, and Andrew. All right. Again, Mike, Rob, Vince, Brent, Andrew. Drivers ready. Marshall's ready. Mike on the tone. Less than 5. Rob, Vince, Brent, Andrew. Andrew, I was expecting the nice, the nice body out here today. I think Brent would have really liked bumping into that. All right, at first 30 seconds, we have Vince on the 1, Mike in the 2, Brent in 3, Rob in 4, Andrew in the
After
5.
30 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail
I'm just
Whip,
glad
and
Andrew has
Brent
mud flaps
Edwards.
on his car. That makes it way better. I don't know why your car is so tippy, though. I think we need to have an open class of short course.
After 1 minute,
I think
minutes
that'd be
left,
fun.
top
Just
drivers are Tail
anything
Whip,
goes.
Vince
Turbo,
Lim, and Brent
boost,
Edwards.
whatever. Because, I don't know, I think that'd be fun. You basically would have to go through an ESC and a motor every week, but that's a small price to pay for a lot of fun. Caution in the middle, caution in the middle, caution in the middle. Andrew wishing he had 4-wheel drive and a lock diff for that one.
After 1 minute 30 seconds, the top
I'll be nice
drivers
now.
are Vince Lim,
All right,
Tail Whip,
2:25 on the
and
clock.
Rob
Vince Lee
Hunter.
is around Mike in the 2, Rob in 3, Andrew in the 4, Brent in the 5. I think the battle to watch tonight will be between Brent and Andrew. Mike tapped out. That might give Rob an opportunity to catch up here a little bit. 2 minutes on the clock.
2 minutes
After
left. 2 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and Rob Hunter.
You have a short course too, right? Still, your sponsor, you should have that thing kitted out with all Team Power stuff, right? Yeah. What the? I look away for 1 second and... Okay. Well, that was something.
After 2 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and Rob Hunter.
Wow. A little bit of brutal action there out of Vince. Is he 2 laps up? Maybe, but that's not the point.
1 minute left. After 3 minutes 1 second,
1 minute on the clock.
the top
This will
drivers
be a
are
1 minute
Vince
call
Lim,
for
Tail
75
Whip,
stock buggy.
and Rob Hunter. 45 seconds left.
I think they bring that back, the retro short course buggy that Associated had like 10 years ago.
"30 seconds left. After 3 minutes 31 seconds,
Come
the
on,
top
Andrew,
drivers
don't let
are
Brent
Vince
get
Lim,
away from
Tail
you.
Whip, and Rob Hunter.
You technically own that body, so I think it's fine if you destroy him, right? That's... Oh!
15
Caution
seconds
sweeper,
left.
caution sweeper. All right, clear. Hey, Brent. I have some questions about that racing line you just took there. I mean, I'm not going to penalize you because you're way back, but...
Tail Whip done.
And it didn't affect your overall stand... And, oh!
Vince Lim done. Rob Hunter done.
I don't think that was the fastest line, but you guys do. Track still live, track still live. Still waiting on Andrew and Brent to go across the line here.
Andrew Tuttle done.
Brent with a super fast
All
last
drivers
lap.
are finished. Brent Edwards done.
Didn't change anything, but...
The race is completed.
All right, two-wheel drive stock buggies up. Drop your cars off, get right back out to Marshall. Looking for Vince, Dan, James, Terry, Graydon, Zach, Todd, and Matt. Vince, your front bumper okay there? Your front bumper okay? Vince, do you have an insert for your bumper bracket? Okay, I have an actual TPU
Graydon
insert.
Edwards.
If you want it, I'll give you.
Dan Jefferson.
Carla gave me some extra
Terry
ones.
Brown. James Paulson. Matt Rigsby. Todd Powell.
All right, gonna need a couple volunteer marshals for this next round. Again, a couple volunteer marshals. Need someone in the middle and someone at the end of the straightaway. Still need Vince and Zach to check in, and then one more marshal. If I get one more marshal. Awesome, thank you.
Zach Marcinkiewicz.
All right, we got checks on everyone. Let's go ahead and get lined up. Order's going to go Vince, Dan, James, Terry, Graydon, Zach, Todd, and Matt. Again, Vince, Dan, James, Terry, Graydon, Zach, Todd, and Matt. Dan, you don't have self-writing? Oh, okay. All right. Drivers ready? Kinda, sorta. Close enough? All right. Again, Vince, Dan, James, Terry, Graydon, Zach, Todd, and Matt. Drivers ready. Marshall's ready on the tone. Less than 5. Dan, James, Terry, Graydon, Zach, Todd, Matt.
After 30 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Terry Brown.
Are you dead? Caution sweeper, caution sweeper.
3 minutes after left. 1 minute 1 second. The top drivers are Dan Jefferson,
All right, Dan
James
leads around.
Paulson,
Graydon in
and
the 2,
Graydon
James in the 3,
Edwards.
Terry in the 4, Todd in the 5, Vince in the 6, Matt in the 7, Zach in the 8. Zach looking to remove his front bumper coming around that sweeper section.
After 1 minute 31 seconds,
Caution on sweeper,
the
clear.
top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and James Paulson.
Double qual, double main. 2 minutes now on the clock.
2 minutes left.
Dan
2
leading
minutes,
us
1
around Graydon in
second.
the 2, Terry in
The
3,
top
James in the
drivers
4.
are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Terry Brown.
Rob almost getting taken out there. That would have been sad. Our only TLR driver gone. Caution out the middle, caution in the middle, clear.
After 2 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Terry Brown.
Caution after Karen, caution after Karen. Caution at Rob, caution at Rob, clear. That is a tricky corner to marshal. Again, caution after Karen, stay inside, stay inside, stay inside.
One minute left.
Order
After
now
3
goes
minutes,
Dan,
1
Terry,
second,
James,
the top drivers
Graydon,
are Dan
Todd,
Jefferson,
Vince,
Terry Brown,
Zach,
and James
Matt.
Paulson. "45 seconds left.
Fast lap
30
goes to Dan,
seconds left.
13-8.
After 3 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Terry Brown, and James Paulson.
Caution after Karen, caution after Karen.
"15 seconds left.
Keep going till she calls
Dan
you done.
Jefferson done. James Paulson done. Zach Marcinkiewicz done. Graydon Edwards done. Vince Lim done. Todd Powell done. Terry Brown done. All drivers are finished. Matt Rigsby done. The race is completed.
All right, Heat 2 is up. Looking forward, Chad, Eric, Josh, Rob, Michael, Ryan, Todd, and Mike. And Jeremy.
Old guys rule.
Especially
Chad Kramer.
Jeremy. No one forget about Jeremy.
Josh Cody. Tail Whip.
I made a mistake.
Michael Jones.
We don't need to bring this up anymore.
Todd Murray.
Cool. Thank you.
Rob Hunter.
Todd.
Ryan Johnson.
On Team Associated's website, find Brent Gilkey's setup sheet for carpet mats, I think. Is that the carpet mats or carpet mats? Just copy that as close as you can. That's going to be the best kind of neutral set. It should be a 45 weight front with a 40 weight rear, I think, or 42 and a half rear, and 3-hole pistons. Just make sure it's that one. He has a couple setups on there. Just you can text me or whatever, make sure it's the right one. But copy that. That's he.
Stock diff fluid.
I'm running. I'd run like 100K 2 year or 80K 2 year in that ballpark. All right.
Jeremy Smedley.
All right, there we go. So order's going to go Chad, Eric, Josh, Rob, Michael, Ryan, Todd, Mike, and Jeremy. You're welcome. Definitely didn't make a mistake and forget to add you. All right. We got checks on everyone. Marshals in positions. Drivers ready. Marshals ready. Chad on the tone. Less than 5. Eric, Josh, Rob, Michael, Ryan, Todd, Mike, Jeremy. Caution at Chad, caution
After
at
30
Chad, caution at
seconds,
Chad.
the top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Josh Cody, and Rob Hunter.
Eric leading us around. Ryan in the 2, Josh in 3, Rob in the 4, Chad in the 5, Michael in 6, Todd in the 7, Mike in the 8, Jeremy in the 9.
After
3 minutes on the clock.
minutes left, the top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Ryan Johnson, and Rob Hunter.
Caution to Karen, caution at Karen. Stay inside, stay inside, stay inside. Clear. Don't worry, Barry, you're still sitting in the 2 overall so far.
All right.
Eric hasn't bumped you down yet.
Well, he will. He's just getting going.
2:35 on the clock. Eric leading us around. Ryan in the 2, Rob in the 3, Josh in the 4, Mike
After
in the
1
5,
minute
Chad in the
30
6, Todd in the
seconds,
7, Michael
the
in the
top
8, Jeremy
drivers
in the
are
9.
Old Guys Rule,
2:25
Ryan Johnson
on the clock.
and Rob Hunter.
Current pace out of Eric is 17.413. Everyone else 16 or below. Gap between 1 and 2, 2.2 seconds back. That would be between Eric and Ryan. Rob 1.7 seconds back. 2:10 on the clock. Caution after Karen. Caution after Karen. Caution going into the Chad section. Caution going into the Chad section. Continue caution. Continue caution. Caution on
2
the back
minutes
straight.
after 2 minutes 1 second.
Clear.
The top drivers are Old Guys Rule,
One,
Tail Whip, and
all right,
Ryan
1:55
Johnson.
on the clock. Fast lap 14 flat out of Mike. Eric now moving up into the 2 overall so far. Lot of time, lot of time. 1:35 now on the clock.
After 2 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Ryan Johnson, and Tail Whip.
Caution sweeper, stay wide, stay wide, stay wide, stay wide, stay wide, stay
1
wide,
minute
stay wide,
left.
stay wide, stay
After
wide.
3 minutes 2 seconds, the top drivers are
clear.
Old Guys Rule, Tail Whip, and Ryan Johnson. "45 seconds left.
Caution sweeper,
30
caution
seconds
sweeper.
left.
Stay inside,
After
stay
3
inside,
minutes,
stay inside, stay
32
inside.
seconds, the top
Clear.
drivers are Old Guys Rule, Tail Whip, and Ryan Johnson. "15 seconds left.
10 seconds on the clock, keep going.
Rob Hunter done.
Caution back table, clear.
Old Guys Rule done. Ryan Johnson done. Josh Cody done. Todd
All
Murray
right,
done.
that's a race. Drop your cars
Michael
off, get
Jones
right back
done.
out to Marshall.
Chad Kramer done. Tail Whip done. All drivers are finished. Jeremy Smedley done. The race is completed.
What's that? Still going to do 2 for stock, but we're going to separate 4-wheel into 2. We're gonna do probably 10-minute break here, and then we will go into the second round. Yo. Just leave it? Okay. All right, we'll get started here on 7:15. Alrighty. 13.5 four-wheel drive out to the track. Stock buggy out to Marshall. Let's go ahead and get drivers up to the stand. Marshall's out to the track.
Dan Jeppesen. Old Guys Rule. Todd Murray. Vince Lim. Ryan Johnson. Todd Templeman.
All right, still need Mike
Zach
and Zach
Marcinkiewicz.
checking, just Mike.
Tail whip.
As long as it doesn't affect overall, you're fine. All right. Looks like I got checks on everyone. Marshall's in position. Order's going to go Eric, Dan, Ryan, Mike, Vince, Zach, Todd Murray, and Todd Templeman. All right. Drivers ready? Do I have a Marshall for the middle? Anyone? You can go middle. Awesome. All right. Drivers ready. You'll start against the wall and then head to the middle as soon as the cars start. Against the wall. And then back wall where Todd's standing. Yep. And then when they start, then you'll go. Yep. All right. Drivers ready. Marshall's ready. Eric on the tone. Less than 5. Dan. Ryan. Mike. Vince. Zach. Todd. Todd. Need something?
After 30 seconds, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Old Guys Rule, and Dan Jeppesen.
All right, after the first minute, we got Dan on the 1, Mike in the 2, Eric in the 3, Ryan in the 4, Vince in the 5, Zach in the 6, Todd in the 7, Todd in the 8. Fast lap 13.814 out of Jeppesen. Mike with a 13.829. Current pace 18.411 out of Jeppesen. Caution to Karen, caution to Karen. .230 on the
After
clock.
1 minute 31 seconds, the top
18.412
drivers are
is the
Dan
pace.
Jeppesen,
Mike
Tail
17.4
Whip,
flat.
and Old Guys
Eric
Rule.
17.401. Is he unplugged? 2:10 now on the clock. Jeppesen still leads round win in the 2. Walzik in the 3. Lamako in the 4. Murray in the 5. Zach in the 6. Not going to attempt your name right now.
2 minutes
Templeman
left.
in
2
the 7.
minutes,
It
1
looks like
second.
Ryan tapped
The
out.
top
Not sure what
drivers are
happened
Tail
there.
Whip, Dan Jeppesen, and Old Guys
One day
Rule.
Zach will learn how to say your last name, I promise. I thought I had it down, but evidently I don't. Your wife provided a different name to use, but out of courtesy for you, I will not be using that name. .135 on the clock.
After 2 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Dan Jeppesen, and Old Guys Rule.
Murray. Okay. It didn't change anything.
1 minute
Yeah.
left. After 3 minutes 2 seconds, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Dan Jeppesen, and Old Guys Rule. .45 seconds left. .30 seconds left. After 3 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Dan Jeppesen, and Old Guys Rule.
Yeah, let me, I'll keep an eye on him. Yeah. Caution to Karen, caution to Karen.
15 seconds left. Dan Jeppesen done.
All right, keep going until she calls you done.
Old Guys Rule done. Todd Murray done. Tail Whip done. Zach Marcinkiewicz done. Vince Lim done. All drivers are finished. Todd
All
Templeman
right, drop
done.
your cars off, get right back
The
out
race
to
is
Marshall.
completed.
All right, 21-5 is up.
Graydon Edwards. Terry Brown. Seth Rhodes. David Pyle. Nikki Rottenbuck.
All right, let's get checks on Andrew and Jeremy. If I get marshals out to the track.
Andrew Tuttle.
All right, just need Jeremy to go across the line here. Jeremy across the line.
Jeremy
All
Smedley.
right, there we go. Order's going to go Terry, Graydon, David, Seth, Andrew, Jeremy, and Nikki. I have attempted to resolve the fourth tone issue. We will see if it works, so just bear in mind it might still be fourth tone, but I tried to fix it, so it should be on the tone. All right, drivers drivers ready, marshals ready, Terry on the tone in less than 5. Graydon, David, Seth, Andrew, Jeremy, Nikki. Evidently I did fix it. Finally did something right on this thing. That's new. All right, 45 seconds. 3:45 on the clock. We got Terry on the 1 on the first lap. Graydon now moves up to the 1. Terry in the 2, David 3, Seth in 4, Andrew in the 5,
After 30 seconds,
Nikki
the
in
top
the 6,
drivers are
Jeremy in the
Graydon
7.
Edwards, Terry Brown, and David Pyle. After 1 minute left, the top drivers
Caution
are
over by
Terry
Chad.
Brown,
Caution to
David
Chad. Stay
Pyle,
inside. To
and
Chad.
Seth
Stay
Rhodes.
inside. Stay inside. Clear. You guys need something? You lost the cart? 2:35 on the clock. Terry leads around Dave in the 2, Graydon in 3, Seth in the 4, Andrew in the 5, Nikki in the 6,
After
Jeremy in
1
the 7.
minute 31 seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, David Pyle, and
Caution
Graydon
sweeper,
Edwards.
caution sweeper. Continue caution, continue caution. Stay wide, stay wide, stay wide, stay wide, stay wide. Clear. Alrighty. I feel like I should turn the RD mic up really loud on days the kids next door are really annoying, so they can hear all of what I have to say.
2 minutes.
2 minutes on the clock. We
1
got Terry
second.
lead us around,
The
Dave in
top
2, Graydon in
drivers
3,
are
7
Terry
and 4,
Brown,
Andrew in 5,
David
Nikki in
Pyle,
6,
and
Jeremy in
Graydon
7.
Edwards.
Todd over there in the back copying my style there with the backwards hat. It does make you faster. It's more aerodynamic, I'll tell you that much. 1:35 now on the clock. Again, Terry still leads around. Graydon in the 2, 2.4 seconds back. David in 3, now 5.2 seconds back. Seth, 5.2 seconds back from him
Terry
as well.
Brown, Graydon Edwards, and David Pyle.
1:20 now on the clock. Caution over by Chad. Caution over by Chad. Caution on the back
1 minute
after the
left.
table. Caution after the
After
back table.
3 minutes
Clear.
2 seconds, the top
All right,
drivers are
55
Terry
seconds
Brown,
on the
Graydon
clock.
Edwards, and David
Fast lap
Pyle.
14.7 out of Terry. 1 and 2 both on a 16 lap pace.
45 seconds left.
Caution to Karen. Caution to Karen. Stay inside of Karen. Stay inside of Karen. Zach putting his cardio in today, choosing to marshal the sweeper section.
30 seconds left. After 3 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and David Pyle. "15 seconds left.
I feel like we should have a marshal class and you just have a race where everyone wears their transponder and has to run laps around the track. Figure out who the fastest marshal is here. We can have like sportsman marshal, mod marshal. Caution in the middle, caution in the middle. Keep going, keep going. Track's still alive, track's still
Terry
alive.
Brown done. David Pyle done.
Zach looked really excited about
Seth
my
Rhodes
marshal
done.
idea.
Jeremy
He looks
Smedley
like
done.
he wants to sign up for that.
Graydon Edwards done.
Still waiting on Nikki to
All
cross the line. There we
drivers
go.
are
All right,
finished.
that's a race. Drop your
Nikki
cards off. Get
Rottenberg
right back out
done.
to Marshall. Andrew, what happened? Did you not? What? Spur? I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying. Spur? I just hear hooting and hollering back there, so
The race is completed.
after all that gear meshing I did, that's really embarrassing on my end. I haven't stripped a spur gear in over a year. I know. Well, let's hope that karma is just reserved for Andrew's buggy. That was unfortunate. Check your motor screw. One of the screws felt a little loose on there. Like it might be stripping out the motor threads.
Vince Lim.
So I think that might have been
Rob
why.
Hunter.
So I tightened it down, but I didn't want to crank it because it felt like it might let go. So
Tail whip.
my guess is you probably shifted on it on the motor plate. You need to message the PBR guys about making a quick detach battery system, because that tray is a pain.
Brent Edwards.
So reminder, Brent, course cutting is only allowed if you're in last place, and it doesn't affect the overall. Otherwise, I won't yell at you about it. I'm not too worried about it. I know it's the only way you can keep up to Andrew. Andrew, you gonna make this one? Okay, cool. Order's gonna be Vince, Mike, Rob, Andrew, and Brent. Here, I get.
I don't remember, man. you did my wearing. Good job, good Ron.
All right, Andrew, just get it across the line here.
Andrew Tuttle.
All right, there we go. So again, order is Vince, Mike, Rob, Andrew, and Brent. All right, drivers ready, marshals ready, Vince on the tone, less than 5. Mike. Rob. Andrew. Brent. Andrew, the quick recovery off the cone. It was clearly, it's all a strategy to get behind Brent, get in his head a little bit. Gives him a false sense of security before he gets T-boned by
After
a
30
steel
seconds,
CNC
the
chassis.
top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and Rob Hunter.
Andrew and Brent really embody what short course is supposed to be, which is just pure chaos and not a lot of like good setup on the cars. Andrew in love with that cone tonight. Not sure what's going on there. No one else seems to be having that problem.
After 1 minute left, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and Brent Edwards.
All right, Brent, you're gonna have the leader coming up on you. Thank you. Based off your guys' previous performance, I'm not gonna. Okay, that might be a bit much. Still was a 19 lap.
After 1 minute 31
19
seconds,
second lap, so that's
the top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and
not
Rob
great.
Hunter.
These guys making it look really hard. 2:20 on the clock. Just, I don't mind what you guys do, just don't take out anyone else. They're like best friends. They love each other very much.
2 minutes left. After 2 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Vince Lim, and Rob Hunter.
All right, 1:50 on the clock. I think Andrew and Brent would be really good at figure 8 racing. All right, Mike now out on the 1, Vince the 2, Rob in the 3, and then the other 2 are also on the track.
After 2 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Vince Lim, and Rob Hunter.
Mike tail whipped a little too close to the sun there and almost barrel rolled it. I do hope one day Mike does learn how to barrel roll a 4-wheel drive. If anyone's going to do it, there we go. Almost there, Mike. You got about 90 degrees. So, what is it, another 206?
1 minute left. After 3 minutes 1 second,
I don't know.
the top
Forget,
drivers are Tail Whip,
basic
Vince
math is
Lim,
failing
and
me
Rob
right now.
Hunter.
Brent with the super inside line through the switchback. That's going to put Brent up into the 4 spot.
45 seconds
They're
left.
both driving so poor, though, right now, it doesn't affect their overall from the first round. They're actually both down a lap from Q1.
30 seconds left. After 3 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Vince Lim,
I feel like
and Rob
Mike is the
Hunter.
kind of guy to try to tail whip a rumble strip. Carlo and I were trying to learn how to tail whip a
15
short course
seconds
the other
left.
night when you were gone. Because we were going to show up and just absolutely tail whip all over you. We were going to crash, but we were going to do some cool stuff. And we both, I think, broke our cars. So, hence why I'm not running truck tonight. It's still broken. But we attempted to impress you with our tail whip skills.
Vince Lim done. Andrew Tuttle done.
All right. Brent, you're still alive. Brent's still alive. Let him go.
Rob Hunter done. Tail Whip done.
Track's still alive. Track's still alive.
All drivers are finished.
You had one job, Brent.
Brent Edwards done.
That was a 43-second lap, and you cut 90% of the track. I love short course. All right, stock buggy's up. Let's not duplicate what they just did out there. All right. Let's get drivers checked in, marshal that to the track. Mike, you're so close to barrel rolling it.
Chad Kramer. Todd Murray. Michael Jones.
Yeah, it's just a good. Yeah. Oh, like Carlo was in last weekend? Dude, we just spent like a full 2 battery packs trying to learn how to tail whips because we were going to come out and race with Mike and just full send. And we both broke our cars. And that's why I'm not running tonight. My car's still broken.
Zach Marcinke Wicks.
I have the parts to fix it. I just have been too preoccupied with the pink car. So, all right, let's get Rob checked in. Josh, Matt, and Jeremy.
Matt Rigsby.
All right. Again, still need Josh, Cody, Jeremy, and Rob Hunter to check in. All right, I need a marshal at the other end of the driver's stand, please. Marshal at the other end of the driver's stand and someone at the end of the straightaway. So if I get 2 more volunteer marshals, 2 volunteer marshals.
Rob Hunter.
Again, 2 marshals, 2 marshals. Anybody, anybody, anybody. 2 volunteers, 2 volunteers, 2 volunteers.
Josh Cody.
1 volunteer, 1 volunteer, 1 volunteer. 1 more marshal, 1 more marshal. Anyone, 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 anyone. Thank you, Ryan. Get you at the other end of the driver's stand, please. What's up? Yeah? Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, just need Jeremy to go across the line, please. All right, order's going to go Chad, Rob, Michael, Zach, Todd, Josh, Matt, and Jeremy. All right. Looks like we got Chad and Rob nice and lined up there. All right, drivers ready, marshals ready. Chad on the tone in less than 5. Rob, Michael, Zach, Todd, Josh, Matt, Jeremy. Sweet barrel roll down the straightaway. I'm 100% sure that was intentional. Jeremy going for some style points right off the bat. Andrew almost loses an ankle.
After 30
There's more
seconds,
commentary
the
on the
top
marshals in
drivers
the
are
race
Michael
so far.
Jones,
All
Chad
right, Michael
Kramer,
on the
and
1,
Josh
Chad in the
Cody.
2, Josh in the 3, Rob in the 4, Zach in the 5, Jeremy in the 6, Todd in the 7, Matt in the 8. So far, only ones moving up are Michael, Chad, and Josh on their overall standings. They just got to hold this pace for the rest of the race. 3 minutes on the clock. Michael out on 16.404, Chad 16.406, Rob
After 1 minute left,
16.408.
the top drivers
Fast
are
lap
Michael Jones, Chad
14.757
Kramer,
out
and
of
Rob
Rob.
Hunter.
2:55 now on the clock. Caution sweeper, caution sweeper. Zach, you're good to go. All right. 2:35 on the clock. Michael Lee is around. Caution on the sweeper section. Caution on the sweeper section. Clear.
After 1 minute 30 seconds, the top drivers are Michael Jones, Chad Kramer, and Rob Hunter.
All right, Chad leads around 2 minutes
2
on the
minutes
clock.
left. After 2
Current
minutes
pace
1 second,
16.403.
the top
Caution
drivers
sweeper
are Chad
section.
Kramer,
Stay
Michael
wide.
Jones,
Clear.
and Rob Hunter.
Caution at Chad. Caution at Chad. Caution coming after Karen. Caution after Karen. Clear. Let's put Michael up in the 1 now. Chad in the 2. Josh in the 3. Rob in the 4. Todd in the 5. Zach in the 6. Matt in the 7. Jeremy in the 8.
After 2 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Michael Jones, Chad Kramer, and Josh Cody.
Caution getting on the straight. Caution getting on the straight. Clear.
One minute left. After 3 minutes 1 second, the top
55
drivers
seconds
are
now
Michael
on the
Jones,
clock.
Josh Cody, and Chad Kramer.
Fast lap 14.3 out of Kramer. Michael out on the 1. Josh the 2. Chad in the 3.
45 seconds left. "30 seconds left. After 3 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are Michael Jones, Josh Cody, and Chad Kramer.
Caution after Karen. Caution after Karen.
15 seconds left.
So only ones looking to move
Chad
up right now
Kramer
are
done.
Michael and Josh.
Rob
Just
Hunter
finish
done.
this out. She'll call you when you're done. Keep going. Keep going.
Michael Jones done. Todd Murray done. Zach Marcinkiewicz done.
Track still live. Track
Matt
still
Rigsby
live.
done. Josh Cody done.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
All drivers
All
are
right, that's a
finished.
race. Drop your cars
Jeremy
off. Get right back
Smedley
out to
done.
Marshall. Wow, Zach.
The race is completed.
All right. Two-wheel drive 17.5 buggy is up. Heat 2, so looking for Dan, Eric, Terry, Graydon, James, Ryan, Mike, Todd, and Vince.
Dan Jefferson. Terry Brown. Graydon Edwards. Tail Whip. James Paulson. Vince Lim. Todd Powell. Old Guys Rule.
Yeah, that was badass. That was awesome. You landed it. It's 100% intentional if you land it. Yeah.
Where's the front stop? Just go.
It's not a four-wheel. You'll be fine. All right, just need Ryan to go across the line here.
Ryan
All right,
Johnson.
no speed, no speed. Straightaway's closed. Straightaway's closed. Order is going to go Dan, Eric, Terry, Graydon, James, Ryan, Mike, Todd, and Vince. Again, Dan, Eric, Terry, Graydon, James, Ryan, Mike, Todd, and Vince. All right. Drivers ready. Marshall's ready. Dan on the tone. Less than 5. Eric, Terry, Graydon, James, Ryan, Mike, Todd, Vince. All right, 3:35 on the clock. Dan leads around. Ryan in the 2, Eric in the 3, Terry in the 4, Todd in the 5, Gray in the 6, Vince in the 7, James
After
in the
30
8,
seconds,
Mike in the
top
9.
drivers are Dan Jefferson, Ryan Johnson, and Old Guys Rule.
Get everyone settled in here. 3:20 on the clock so far. Dan starting out strong, 13.9 fast lap. 45 seconds into this race, Eric moves up to the 1, Todd in the 2, Terry in the 3, Ryan in the 4, Dan in the 5, Graydon up to the 3, Terry in the 4, Ryan in the 5, James in the 6, Dan in the 7, Vince in the 8, Mike in the 9. Yeah, Mike, we're not going to want to go backwards on the tabletop. Just hop off as quick as you can. It's not worth blowing someone's car up on there. .240 on the clock.
After 1 minute 31 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Old Guys Rule.
2:20 on the clock. Dan leads around. Graydon in the 2, Eric in the 3, Terry in the 4, James in the 5, Ryan in the 6, Todd in the 7, Mike in the 8, Vince in the 9. Caution to Karen. Caution at Karen. Stay inside, stay inside, stay inside. Clear. Graydon now sitting up in the 2 overall. Dan in the 1, Eric in the 3, James in the 4, Terry in the 5, Ryan in the 6, Todd in the 7, Mike in the 8.
2 minutes left.
So far, the only ones moving
After
up
2
overall are
minutes, 2
Graydon,
seconds,
James,
the top
Ryan,
drivers are Graydon
and
Edwards,
Todd Powell.
Old Guys Rule, and James Paulson.
Graydon moving up to the 1 right now. Eric in the 2, James in the 3, Todd in the 4, Terry in the 5, Ryan in the 6, Dan in the 7, Vince in the 8,
After
Mike in the
2
9.
minutes 32
Not sure
seconds,
what happened there.
The top drivers are Graydon Edwards, Old Guys Rule, and James Paulson. One minute left. After 3 minutes 2 seconds, the top drivers are Old Guys Rule,
55
Graydon Edwards,
seconds on the
and
clock.
James Paulson. .45 seconds left.
.35 seconds.
30 seconds left. After 3 minutes 33 seconds, the top drivers are Graydon Edwards, Old Guys Rule, and Todd Powell. .15 seconds left.
Caution back sweeper, caution back sweeper. 5 seconds on the clock.
Dan Jefferson done. Terry Brown done. Ryan Johnson done. Old Guys Rule done. Graydon Edwards done. Tail Whip done. Vince Lim done. James Paulson done. All drivers are finished. Todd Powell done.
All right, that's
the race is completed.
All right, how much time do you guys need? We got plenty of time, so you got to change over. All right, we'll get started here at 7:10 or 8:10. How about that? Give me a sec.
Todd Templeman.
All right, let's get 13.5 four-wheel drive out to the track. Stock buggy out to Marshall.
Dan Jefferson.
All right, looking for Mike, Eric, Vince, Ryan, Todd, and Zach. You're out? Okay.
Todd Murray. Tail whip. Old guys rule.
Oh, yeah, and Rob. Rob, I will be calling you Ryan for the duration of this race, just so that it stays the same. Remember, this is 5-minute mains tonight. 5-minute mains.
Zach Marcinkiewicz. Rob Hunter.
All right, I got checks on everyone. Order is going to go Dan, Mike, Eric, Todd, Zach, Todd Templeman, and Rob. All right. Zach, you might want to get a little closer to the wall because you will go right over that pipe. There you go. All right. I need one more. Graydon, can I have you cover the middle? Thank you. So you're going to start along, Graydon. You'll start against the wall, and then when they start, then you'll run out. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Driver's ready. Marshall's ready. On the toe in less than 5.
After 30 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Tail Whip, and Old Guys Rule. After 1 minute left, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Old Guys Rule, and Tail Whip.
All right, 3:30 on the clock. Dan leading us around. Eric in the 2, Mike in the 3, Todd
After
in the
1
4,
minute,
Rob in the 5,
31
Zach in the 6,
the
Todd
top drivers
Templeman
are
in the
Dan
7.
Jefferson, Old Guys Rule, and Tail Whip. 3 minutes left. After 2 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Dan Jeppesen, Old Guys Rule, and Tail Whip.
All right, 2:35 on the clock still. Dan leading us around. Mike in the 2, Eric in the 3, Rob in the 4, Zach in the 5, Todd in the 6,
After
Todd
2
in the
minutes
7.
31 seconds, the top
Fast
drivers
lap
are Dan
13,
Jeppesen,
6, 2,
Tail
9
Whip,
out
and Old Guys
Jeppesen.
Rule.
Mike in that 2 spot, 6.8 seconds back. Dan's got quickly a little bit of a hiccup there over the back tabletop, but he's still got plenty of time. Dan clearing Todd there.
2 minutes left. After 3 minutes 2 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jeppesen, Tail
Caution
Whip,
back,
and Old
sweeper,
Guys
caution
Rule.
back, sweeper. Stay inside, stay inside, stay inside.
After 3 minutes 32 seconds, the top
Caution at
drivers are
Karen,
Dan
caution at
Jeppesen,
Karen. Stay
Old
inside,
Guys
stay
Rule,
inside.
and Tail Whip. One minute left. After 4 minutes 2 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jeppesen, Old Guys Rule, and Tail Whip. "45 seconds left. "30 seconds left. After 4 minutes 33 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jeppesen, Old Guys Rule, and Tail Whip.
All right, 20 seconds on the clock. Jeppesen still leading us around.
15
Eric in the
seconds
2,
left.
Mike in the 3, Rob in the 4, Zach in the 5, Todd Murray in the 6, Todd Tillman in the 7. Caution at the middle table, caution at the middle table. Keep going, keep going.
Old Guys Rule done. Zach Marcinkiewicz done.
Track still live, keep going,
Todd Murray
keep going.
done. Todd Templeman done. Dan Jeppesen done. Rob Hunter done. All drivers are finished. Tail Whip done. The race is completed.
All right, 21.5 is up. Drop your cars off, get right back out to Marshall. Brent, you could probably run 21.5. How's that other short course coming? Says you're on the Team Powers now, so you got a full electronics package for that guy.
Terry Brown.
No excuses anymore for not staying up.
Seth Rhodes. David Pyle.
All right, let's go ahead and get checked in on
Andrew Tuttle.
Graydon, Nikki, and Jeremy. Andrew, that car
Jeremy
still looks kind of
Smedley.
hard to drive.
Graydon Edwards.
Better than it was, but it's still, it could be improved.
Nikki Rottenbuck.
All right, order's going to go Terry, Graydon, Seth, David, Andrew, Nikki, Jeremy. If you look closely, you'll notice I did include Jeremy in this race. Oh. All right. Drivers ready. Marshall's ready. On the tone, less than 5. Seth attempting a hole shot there. Not going to hold on to it, but you're never going to win in the first lap anyways. Could have just been a late start, though, out of Graydon.
After 30 seconds, the top drivers are Terry
All right,
Brown,
Terry leads
Graydon
round.
Edwards,
Caution
and
on the
Seth
sweeper.
Rhodes.
Caution on the sweeper. Terry leads round. Graydon in the 2, Seth in the 3. Gap between 1 and 2, 0.044 seconds back now. Pace 19.503 out of Terry. Graydon 19.504. That is going to be the battle to watch tonight. We've got a minute in. We got David in the 3, Seth in the 4, Andrew in the 5, Nikki in the 6, Jeremy in the 7. Fast lap 15.161 out of Graydon.
After 1 minute, 4 minutes left. The top drivers are
Caution
Terry
at
Brown,
Chad,
Graydon
caution at
Edwards,
Chad.
and David Pyle.
So gap between 1 and 2 now, 1.3 seconds. They are so close. It's really anyone's race at this point. 3:45 on the clock. Terry going over to 25.11. Graydon 19.502. Looks like we have one drop there.
After 1
Not
minute,
sure what
30
happened.
seconds, the top
3:30
drivers are
on the
Terry
clock.
Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Seth Rhodes.
Sensor wire. Try putting a dab of glue on the side, the little, you know, there's a little flange on the side. Put just the tiniest amount of glue on there when you put it in. Because if your ESC shifts at all, it'll pop. It only needs one cable to pop. So. All right, 3:05 now on the clock. Terry still leads around. Graydon in the 2, Seth in the 3, David in the 4, Andrew in the 5. Nikki in the 6. Nikki's still in this one.
The top drivers are Terry Brown,
14.924
Graydon
fast
Edwards,
lap out of
and Seth
Terry.
Rhodes.
Graydon 14.982. They are very evenly paced, both on a 20-lap pace at this point. Gap between 1 and 2, 1.7 seconds. Terry's not really making any ground, but he's not losing any. Or Graydon's not losing any gap, so it's really very much anybody's race at this point. 2:35 on the clock.
After 2 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Seth
2:25
Rhodes.
now. So Nikki, you're gonna have the 2 car coming up on you. Please let by. Thank you. .210 on the clock. Both drivers staying about the same pace the entire race so far. We're about 3 minutes in.
2 minutes left. After 3 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Seth Rhodes.
Caution in the middle table. Caution on the middle table. Clear. Minute on
After
the minute 30 on the
31
clock.
seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards,
Caution
and
at
Seth
middle
Rhodes.
table. Caution coming through Karen.
One minute left. After 4 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Seth Rhodes.
All right, we got 50 seconds on the clock.
.45 seconds left.
.30 seconds.
30 seconds left. After 4 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Seth Rhodes. .15 seconds
Andrew, what
left.
happened? Okay. All right, keep going, keep going. She'll call you when you're done.
David Pyle done. Graydon Edwards done. Nikki Rottenbuck done. Terry Brown done. All drivers are finished.
All right,
Seth
drop your
Rhodes
cars
done.
off. Get right back out to
The
Marshall.
race is
13-5
completed.
short course is up. Andrew, was it the car? It doesn't look... Huh? Yeah. I do want to work on your car though, because it doesn't look easy to drive. No, but like I drove it though the other.
Brent Edwards.
No, but it's chassis setup though, because I was even struggling driving it last time.
Vince Lim.
Alrighty. Short course, best class of the night.
Rob Hunter.
I like that Andrew and Brent do the opposite
Andrew
of
Tuttle.
downsighting when they come over that back jump section. All right, do we want to do a staggered start, or do we want to go just line them up and rush it? Line it up? All right, that's kind of lame, but I understand. Mike, I need you to go across the line, check in, but it will go Mike, Vince, Rob,
Tail whip.
Andrew, and Brent. I need one more Marshall down at the other end of the driver's stand, please. So if I get one more Marshall. Thank you, Terry. Let's try not to hit David this time around. Never mind, he wants it. He's kind of into that, I guess. That's we can keep those thoughts to ourselves. How about that? I don't know. I like short course, but not that much. All right. Mike in the 1, Vince in the 2, Rob in the 3, Andrew in the 4, Brent in the 5. All right, drivers ready, Marshall's ready, on the tone. Let's have some fun. I don't know. I think Seth almost had that off the straightaway. Caution at Karen. 450 on the clock. I said David, not Seth. I guess they spend a lot of time together. It's hard to tell them apart, I guess, at this point. 4:30 on the clock. All right. Vince working his way
After
through the
30
back
seconds,
markers there.
The top drivers are Tail Whip, Rob Hunter, and Brent Edwards.
Yo, I did. Okay. Caution to Karen.
After 1 minute left, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Vince Lim, and Rob Hunter.
Oh, ready. 3:35 on the clock. Mike leading us around. Rob in the 2, Vincent 3, Andrew in the 4, Brent in the 5.
After 1 minute 31 seconds, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Vince Lim, and Rob Hunter.
Brent and Andrew evidently are trying this time around. .310 on the clock. Mike leading us around. Vince in the 2, Rob in 3, Andrew in the 4, Brent in the 5. Hey, Chad, I was going to say something. You don't have to chip in
3
there.
minutes left. After 2 minutes
I was
1
going to bully
second,
him plenty.
the top drivers are Tail Whip, Vince Lim, and Rob Hunter.
Andrew doing a little bit of breakdancing there. Andrew, just wait till you get the F2 body. It does not roll at all. I think Brent needs to get a replica body too. And some mud flaps. That would definitely help.
After 2 minutes 31
All right,
seconds,
2:30 on the clock.
top
Mike
drivers are
leading his
Tail
run.
Whip,
Vince in the 2,
Vince
Rob in
Lim,
3,
and
Brendan
Rob
4,
Hunter.
Andrew in the 5. .205 on the clock. Okay, well the gap between 1 and 2 is
2 minutes
10
left.
seconds,
After
so
3
I'm not
minutes
really
1 second,
no
the
real
top
battles
drivers are
going
Tail
on,
Whip,
so to
Vince
speak.
Lim, and Rob Hunter.
There's just kind of cars on the track at the moment. Think of this as like practice for something else that you might do at a later date. 1:45 now. I think Mike should be required to run a 17.5.
After 3 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are
everyone
Tail
else a
Whip,
chance.
Vince Lim, and Rob Hunter.
.115 now on the clock.
One minute left. After 4 minutes 2 seconds, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Vince Lim, and Rob Hunter. .45 seconds left.
40 seconds on the clock. Mike setting a fast lap of 14.999. Could run this thing in 21.5.
30 seconds left. After 4 minutes 32 seconds, the top
25
drivers
seconds
are
on the
Tail
clock.
Whip, Vince Lim, and Rob Hunter.
Only slightly disappointed in the lack of carnage between Brent and Andrew this round. Kind of looking forward to that, but
15 seconds left.
Brent appears to be staying within the lines, which is new for him.
Andrew Tuttle done. Vince Lim done. Rob Hunter done. Brent Edwards done. All drivers are finished. Tail Whip done.
All
race
right.
is completed.
Drop your cars off, get right back out to Marshall. Two-wheel drive stock buggies up B main. Brent, that was only slightly disappointing. Why do you think we keep spare front bumpers on hand? We all keep spare front bumpers on hand. Yeah, Carlo was in here and we were trying to see how much we could,
Rob
like,
Hunter.
how far we could get our cars to tail whip. And,
Jeremy
we
Smedley.
were gonna come in and race with Mike
Josh
and just
Cody.
see how far we could throw the
Chad
cars.
Kramer.
And then we both broke.
Zach Marcinki Wicks.
Yeah, you think you're racing a little serious out there. It's not
Yeah.
Todd Murray.
Lame. As long as you do it without hitting them, you're fine.
Vince Lim.
All right, just need Matt to get checked in here.
Matt Rigsby.
There we go. We got checks on everyone. No speed, no speed. Straightaways closed. Order's going to go Vince, Chad, Josh, Rob, Zach, Todd, Matt, and Jeremy. All right, I think I still need one more marshal, one more marshal. If I get one volunteer, one volunteer. Anyone, 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 anyone. Over at the other end of the driver's stand, please. Thank you much. It's all about cardio here at PDXRC Underground.
just training for the marshal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna host a 5K in the parking lot. All right. Driver's ready. Marshal's ready. On tone, less than 5. I'm out of shape, so I just do sprints, which is the 5K. Everyone else always does like the big hard ones, and I do 5K and struggle through that. All right, 4:30 on the clock. We got caution coming out on the current. All right, clear.
Chad Kramer, and
Vince
Josh
on the
Cody.
1, Chad on the 2, Josh in the 3, Zach in the 4, Rob in the 5, Matt in the 6, Tom 7, Jeremy in the 8. Caution sweeper, stay inside, stay inside, stay inside, stay inside. Clear. Vince leading us around, gap between 1 and 2, about a second right now. Caution, caution, caution. That's going to put Chad up into the 1, Vince in the 2. We're a minute in here, and
After 1 more minutes left,
gap
top
has extended to
drivers are
1.5
Chad Kramer,
now between
Vince
Chad
Lim,
and
Josh
Vince.
Cody.
Everyone else spread out by about a second to 2 seconds here. Closest battle between Todd Murray and looks like between Todd and Matt is gonna be the closest battle. So that's 6 and 7. But even that looks like it's spaced out quite a bit. Looks like we have one tap out here. Not sure what happened there. 3:35 on the clock.
After 1 minute 30 seconds, the top drivers are Chad Kramer, Vince Lim, and Rob Hunter.
Okay. Take it easy. All right, 3:15 on the clock. Vince leading us around now. Chad in the 2. Gap between those two is 0.2 seconds. Caution on sweeper. Stay wide on sweeper. Stay wide on sweeper. Stay wide. 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 Clear.
After
3 minutes on the
left,
clock.
The top drivers are Vince Lim, Chad Kramer, and Rob Hunter.
Vince extending that lead a 100th of a second here. Now 1.8 seconds is the gap. Not a lot of room to work with, but better than where he was at. 2:40 on the clock. This thing is not over yet. Chad taps out. That's going to cost him. It's going to put Rob up to the 2, Chad in the 3. Rob needs to hold on to that
After 2
spot.
minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Rob Hunter, and Chad Kramer.
Got to tighten up that line. Not sure what happened there. That's going to extend Vince's lead. Vince now a 6.5 second gap with 2:10 on the clock, so he's still got to hold it together.
Two minutes left. After 3 minutes 1 second,
Rob's
the
not
top
too
drivers
far
are
back.
Vince Lim, Rob Hunter, and Josh Cody.
Both need to keep it tight. Again, no battles going on. Everyone's spaced out by a couple seconds or more at this point. Fast lap is a 14.5 out of Lamaco.
After 3 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Vince
125
Lim,
now.
Rob Hunter, and Josh Cody.
Gap has extended to 8.6 seconds between 1 and 2. Closest battle right now to watch would be Josh and Rob. That's a 1.5 second gap.
One minute left. After 4 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Rob Hunter, and Josh Cody.
Caution on the back table. Caution on the back table. It's clear.
"45 seconds left.
"30 seconds now on the clock. Gap between 1 and 2, 9.7 seconds
After
now.
4 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Rob
25
Hunter,
seconds
and
on the
Chad
clock.
Kramer.
Vince looking to take this one.
15 seconds left.
10 seconds on the clock.
Rob Hunter done.
Rob's
Chad
going to
Kramer
take the
done.
2.
Zach Marcinkiewicz done. Vince Lim done. Josh Cody done. Matt
Track's
Ripsby
still
done.
alive. Track's still alive. Just waiting on one more. Just waiting on one more.
All drivers are
All right,
finished.
that's a race.
Todd
Drop
Murray
your cars
done.
off, get right back out
The
to
race is
Marshall.
completed.
A main is up.
Graydon Edwards. Dan Jefferson. Old Guys Rule. James Paulson. Ryan Johnson. Tail Whip. Todd Powell. Michael Jones. Terry Brown.
All right, I got checks on everyone. No speed, no speed. Straightaways closed, straightaways closed. Order is going to go Dan, Graydon, Eric, Todd, James, Terry, Ryan, Mike, and Michael. Again, Dan, Graydon, Eric, Todd, James, Terry, Ryan, Mike, and Michael. All right. Driver's ready. Marshall's ready. On the tone, less than 5. False start, false start, false start, false start. Who is that? You, Chad? That's. I'm kind of surprised that worked. That's funny. I don't typically condone that, but that was pretty funny. All right, orders Dan, Graydon, Eric, Todd, James, Terry, Ryan, Mike, and Michael. All right, driver's ready. Marshall's ready. On the tone, less than 5.
After 30 seconds,
Caution,
the
tabletop,
top
caution,
drivers
tabletop.
are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards,
Continue
and
caution,
James
continue
Paulson.
caution. Clear. Caution sweeper, stay wide, stay wide, stay wide, clear. Watch re-entries, watch your re-entries. All right, after the first 45 seconds, we got Dan out in the 1, James in the 2, Eric in the 3, Terry in the 4, Ryan in the 5, Graydon in the 6, Mike in the 7, Todd in the 8, Michael in the 9.
After 1 minute left, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, James Paulson, and Old Guys Rule. After 1 minute 30 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, James Paulson, and Old Guys Rule.
3:20 on the clock. Jefferson leading us around. Paulson in the 2, Eric in the 3, Terry in the 4, Graydon in the 5, Ryan in the 6, Mike in the 7, Todd in the 8, Michael in the 9. Gap between 1 and 2, 4.9 seconds. Between 2 and 3, 2.9 seconds. Battle watch between Eric and Terry. That gap is 0.4 seconds now. Mike and Ryan, another
After
close
2
battle
left,
on the grid.
The top drivers are Dan Jefferson, James Paulson,
Everyone's
and Old
spaced out a
Guys
couple
Rule.
seconds, though. 2:54 on the clock. Pace 22.514 out of Jefferson. James 25 flat. Caution on the back straight. Caution on the back straight. Clear.
After 2 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, James Paulson, and Old Guys Rule.
All right, 2:20 on the clock now. Jeppesen leading us around. Paulson in the 2, Eric in the 3, Terry in the 4, Ryan in the 5, Graydon in the 6, Mike in the 7, Todd in the 8, Michael in the 9. Again, everyone's spaced out about a second or more now. Not a lot of close battles on the grid. Closest battle to watch right now between Graydon and Ryan. Good sportsmanship there out of Graydon.
2 minutes left. After 3 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Dan Jeppesen, James Paulson,
Ryan's
and
got to
Old
keep
Guys
it together.
Rule.
Ryan taps out, but not too bad. Still very much in it. 1:40 on the clock.
After 3 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jeppesen, Old Guys Rule, and James Paulson.
Mike goes through, so that's going to put Mike up into the 5 spot. Graydon in the 4, Ryan in the 6.
One minute left. After 4 minutes 2 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jeppesen,
After
Old
you get done,
Guys
everyone
Rule,
check your car.
and
Something
James
smells a little
Paulson.
hot. Not sure that's a car or something outside. but
45 seconds left.
Caution on the back after the table. Caution on the back after the table. Clear.
.30 seconds left. After 4 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jeppesen, Old
25
Guys
seconds.
Rule, and James Paulson.
Yeah.
15 seconds left.
10 seconds on the clock.
James Paulson done. Todd Powell done. Graydon Edwards done.
Keep going until she calls you
Ryan
done.
Johnson done.
Again, everyone
Terry
check
Brown
your
done.
cars after you're done here.
Tail Whip done. Michael Jones done. Dan Jeppesen done. All drivers are finished. Old Guys Rule done. The race is completed.
right, you guys ready to get started or need a little more time? You guys good? All right. 13.5 four-wheel drive is up. Let's get A main drivers out of the track to marshal and maybe some volunteers. I don't know how much overlap there is. And I'm not going to check.
Dan Jefferson.
All right, let's get marshal out of the track. Drivers
Tailwind.
checked in.
Old Guys Rule. Todd Murray. Vince Lim. Zach Marcinkiewicz. Todd Templeman.
All right. Ryan, are you going to make this one? What's that? Oh, that's right. I forgot. Forgot about you, Rob. Well, I wasn't being mean. Maybe a little bit, but not that much. Graydon, be careful. You don't want to touch that. It's a TLR. All right, Rob, across the line real quick.
Rob Hunter.
All right, order's going to go Dan, Mike, Eric, Vince, Todd, Zach, Todd Templeman, and Rob. All right, drivers ready. Marshall's ready. On the tone, less than 5. Get him across the line. Caution to Karen, caution at Karen.
After 30 seconds.
Caution sweeper,
the
caution
top drivers
sweeper,
are
caution
Dan
sweeper.
Jefferson,
Stay inside,
Old
stay
Guys
inside,
Rule,
stay inside,
and
stay
Tail Whip.
inside. Clear. James, put in a little bit of parkour there. Caution after the table, caution after the table, clear. All right, after the first minute, we got Eric on the 1, Mike in the 2, Vincent 3, Dan in the 4, Todd in the 5, Rob in the 6, Zach
After
in the
1
7,
minute
Todd in the
flat,
8.
the top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Tail Whip, and Vince Lim. After 1 minute 30 seconds, the top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Dan Jefferson, and Vince Lim.
3:20 on the clock. Eric leading round. Dan 2, Vince 3, Mike in the 4, Todd in the 5, Rob in the 6, Zach in the 7, Todd in the 8. Gap between 1 and 2, 2.9 seconds. Between 2 and 3.5 seconds. Between 3 and 4, 4.2 seconds. Between 4 and 5, 2 seconds. 3 minutes on the clock. Caution after the back table. Clear.
After 2 minutes left, The top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Vince Lim, and Dan Jefferson.
It could drive upside down because it has the fan like sucks it to the track, so it's like forcing downforce on it, and it has so much downforce it can drive upside down. Like we actually tested it upside down. I need that for my buggy. Put it like an EDF jet on top of it, so it just like sucks the car down. I swear it's just a fan. 2:30 on the clock. Eric leading us around. Vince in the 2, Dan in the 3, Mike in the 4, Todd in the 5, Rob in the 6, Zach in the 7, Todd in the 8.
Vince Lim and Dan Jefferson.
2:25 on the clock. Caution Chad, caution to Chad, clear.
2 minutes left. After 3 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Dan Jefferson, and Vince Lim.
1:50 on the clock. Up next we 21.5, 1:45 on the clock now.
After 3 minutes 31
Reiner
seconds,
caution when
the top
re-entering the
drivers
track.
are Old Guys Rule, Dan Jefferson, and Tail
Caution
Whip.
over at Chad, stay inside of Chad, stay inside of Chad, stay inside. Clear. Caution sweeper, clear.
One minute left. After 4 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Dan Jefferson, and Tail Whip.
Caution at the tabletop, caution at the tabletop. Right in the middle, right in the middle, right in the middle, clear.
45 seconds left.
Yeah.
In front of the driver's stand, so I was right in the center of all of them.
I'm surprised no one's done it before now.
And then when you said, and I'm just like, I'm doing it.
I started laughing, so that was so funny.
30 seconds left. After 4 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are Old Guys Rule, Dan Jefferson, and Tail Whip.
I didn't expect everyone to go on it. I thought, and we got about like half the grid or so. All right, 15 seconds on the clock.
15 seconds left.
10 seconds.
Rob Hunter done. Old Guys Rule done. Vince Lim done.
Keep going until she calls you done.
Todd Murray done. Tail Whip done. Zach Marcinkiewicz done. Dan Jefferson done.
All right,
drivers
that's
are
a race.
finished.
Drop your cars off. Get
Todd
right back out to
Templeman done.
Marshall. 21.5
The race
is up.
is completed.
I realize you look a lot like Dan when you're out there. That's four-wheel for you.
Graydon Edwards.
Vince, is your buggy okay after James's foot hit you? All right, let's go ahead and get drivers checked in. Marshall's out to the track.
Terry Brown. David Pyle. Seth Rhodes. Jeremy Smedley. Andrew Tuttle.
All right, just need Nikki to go across the line here. He left? Okay. The order's going to go Terry, Graydon, Seth, David, Andrew, and Jeremy. Deep breaths, Jeremy. You got this. It's going to be okay. I believe in you. Andrew, you might want to not start going into the wall. All right. Driver's ready. Marshall's ready. On the tone. Caution, Karen. Caution, Karen. Stay inside, stay inside, stay inside. Clear.
After 30 seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Seth Rhodes. After 1 minute left, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Andrew Tuttle.
All right, 3:35 now on the clock. Terry on the 1, Graydon in the 2, Andrew in the 3, David in the 4, Seth in the 5, Jeremy in the 6.
After 1 minute 30 seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Andrew Tuttle.
David just needs to tighten it up a little bit. Seth right there with him. Seth all over the back of David. Little inside, outside, inside, outside. All the way through. Tighten it up, Tuttle.
2 minutes left. The top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Andrew Tuttle.
We got some good racing going on at the back of the pack, some good racing going on at the front of the pack. Graydon all over the back of Terry now. Curse of the RD. Still 2:45 on the clock.
After 2 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Andrew Tuttle.
Inside, outside, all over the place. Keep it together, keep it together, keep it together. Got the leader coming up on you, David and Seth. Caution, Marshall, caution, Marshall.
2 minutes left.
Right after Karen, right
3
after
minutes
Karen.
1 second, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and Seth Rhodes.
Still 1:35 on the clock. It is not over yet.
After 3 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and David Pyle.
Marshall at Chad, Marshall at Chad. Marshall at tabletop, Marshall at tabletop.
1 minute left. After 4 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and David Pyle. "45 seconds left.
"35 seconds on the clock.
30 seconds left. After 4 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Terry Brown, Graydon Edwards, and David Pyle.
20 seconds.
15 seconds left. Seth Rhodes done. Andrew Tuttle done.
Caution sweeper,
Jeremy
caution
Smedley
sweeper.
done. Graydon Edwards done. Terry Brown done.
Just waiting on David to go across the line.
All drivers are finished. David Pyle done. The race is completed.
Andrew, you had them for like 2.5 minutes. We got to do something about your front end though, because it's way too reactive, and it's too much for you. We need to soften your front end up so that it's easier for you to stay on the line. Because right now there's not enough window for you, so it's either too much, it's like on or off on your steering. So we got to dial that back. Because you definitely have the pace and can hang with them. You're just the car's getting away from you. I'll try to be out of here by 10, so depending on what time we get done, we might have like 5 minutes. But yeah. Good. That was from last year. We haven't got the plaques yet for this year.
Rob Hunter.
Of course he did.
Brent Edwards.
And you're gonna win it next year, right?
Andrew Tuttle.
That's true, because I might run in the invite next year.
Vince Lim.
You know me, I'll probably break my car or something. Like when I was racing 21.5 with you. Mike, across the line. Mike, check in. All right, order is going to go Mike, Vince, Rob, Andrew, and Brent. Again, Mike, Vince, Rob, Andrew, and Brent. All right. You can't hole shot before the race starts. On the tone. So, battle to watch right now is Andrew and Vince. Very much anyone's race between the two of them right now.
After 30 seconds, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Vince Lim, and Andrew Tuttle.
Mine's broken. I have it here, it's just broken. What? My truck is broken. My stock car's fine. That class I have to use a lot more brain cells. Truck, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm just having fun. I don't want to break my stock car and just kind of...
After 1 minute, 4 minutes left, the top drivers are Tail Whip, Vince Lim, and Andrew Tuttle.
I know. I'll race with you next week. We've been out of tires, so I didn't have any for tonight. So I didn't want to just kind of throw my car out there. What's that? I don't get free tires. I pay full price for tires. I get discounts on all my other stuff. Like I didn't. My cards are free, but
After 1 minute 30 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and Rob Hunter.
All right, 3:20 on the clock. That'd be nice. Whoa there.
After 2 minutes left, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and Rob Hunter.
Yeah, Associate would be a good team to get on. You just are limited on. I think the contract with Associated is you can only run like 3 or 4 parts that aren't team associated. I think you can. I think you would need a Reedy sponsorship for the electronics. 2:30 on the clock.
After 2 minutes 30 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Rob Hunter, and Tail Whip.
Yeah. I'm Vision and PDX sponsored? What's that? Yeah. Can I put my wallet as a sponsorship? Sponsored by On Point Credit.
2 minutes
2
after
minutes
3
on the
minutes
clock.
1 second. The top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and Rob Hunter.
Andrew, what are you doing? I know Andrew came to a complete stop.
After 3 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and Rob Hunter.
Whoa! Karma gets Brent coming through that sweeper section. Trying to just T-bone. Dang. Wasn't even subtle about it. We still got a minute on the clock here.
1 minute left. After 4 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and Rob Hunter.
Vince, gotta pick up a second and a half.
45 seconds left. "30 seconds left. After 4 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Tail Whip, and Rob Hunter.
The deanodized.
15 seconds left.
If you do want to do it, have your dad do it or something, because it's really toxic. It's really bad for you. You gotta wear gloves and wear a mask and all that stuff. Thanks.
Brent Edwards done.
I'm trying not to do it.
Rob
I do
Hunter
have to do a
done.
little bit more, but I'm trying not to.
Andrew Tuttle done. Tail Whip done.
Not good for me.
All drivers are finished.
But I
Vince Lim done.
I do, but I have a couple new parts that I need to deanodize.
The race is completed.
Yep. Need to get the 4 of us out there running truck. Oh yeah, it looks terrible. Yeah, it looks undrivable. No. Yeah, you shouldn't be rolling after just landing a jump. Yeah.
Todd Murray. Josh Cody. Chad Kramer.
All right, let's go ahead and get drivers checked in. Marshall out to the track.
Matt Rigsby. Rob Hunter. Vince Lim.
All right, I need Zach and Jeremy to check in.
Zach Marcinkiewicz.
I need a marshal at the other end of the driver's stand. I need a marshal in the middle and a marshal at the end of the straightaway. So 3 more marshals. I get 3 more marshals. 3 more marshals. Anyone.
Jeremy Smedley.
All right, lineup's going to go Vince, Chad, Josh, Rob, Zach, Todd, Matt, and Jeremy. Again, Vince, Chad, Josh, Rob, Zach, Todd, Matt, and Jeremy. All right, I still need a marshal at the other end of the driver's stand and... Track repair, what's broken? I blame Brent for the damage done. Probably the short course with the terrible green wheels. All right, I still need 2 more marshals. I need 2 more marshals still. Need someone at the end of the straightaway and someone at the other end of the driver's stand. Graydon, can I get you at the other end of the driver's stand? Thank you. All right, driver's ready. Marshall's ready on the tone. Here we go. I should get Chad to start all of his own races, I think.
After 30 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Chad Kramer, and Josh Cody.
There's not enough lube and it's getting too hot? What? You gotta spit on it. Yeah. 4:10 on the clock. Vince leading us around. Chad in the 2, Josh in the 3, Rob in the 4, Zach in the 5, Todd in the 6, Jeremy in the 7, Matt in the 8. Caution after the table.
Hour
Caution
1
after the
left.
table.
The top drivers are Vince Lim, Chad Kramer, and Josh Cody. After 1 minute 30 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Chad Kramer, and Josh Cody.
Caution sweeper. Stay inside, stay inside, stay inside. Clear.
Three minutes left. After 2 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Chad Kramer, and Zach Marcinkiewicz.
Caution at Karen, caution at Karen.
After 2 minutes 31 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Chad Kramer, and Rob Hunter.
.2:15 on the clock. Vince leading us around. Chad in the 2, Josh in the 3, Rob in the 4, Zach in the 5, Todd in the 6, Matt in the 7, Jeremy in the 8. Everyone gapped out a couple seconds here. It's a close battle between Josh and Rob Hunter.
Two minutes left. After 3 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Chad Kramer, and Josh Cody.
.137 on the clock. Everyone now spaced out over a second. Caution on the sweeper, clear.
After 3 minutes 32 seconds, the top
Caution
drivers
sweeper,
are
caution
Vince
sweeper,
Lim,
clear.
Chad Kramer, and Josh Cody. One minute left. After 4 minutes 2 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim, Chad Kramer, and Josh Cody.
.45 seconds on the clock.
Left. .30 seconds left. After 4 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are Vince Lim,
Caution
Chad
after
Kramer,
Karen, caution
and Zach
after Karen.
Marcinkiewicz. 15 seconds left.
10 seconds on the clock.
Jeremy Smedley done. Josh Cody done. Zach Marcinkiewicz done. Vince Lim done. Todd Murray done. Matt Rigsby done. All drivers are finished. Chad Kramer done.
All right,
race is
that's the race.
completed.
Drop your cars off. Get right back out to Marshall. Yo. Gotcha. No speed yet. Gotta fix the track.
Graydon Edwards. Terry Brown. Dan Jefferson. Old Guys Rule. James Paulson. Michael Jones. Tail Whip. Todd Powell. Ryan Johnson.
All right, no speed, no speed. Straightaway's closed, straightaway's closed. Order's going to go Dan, Graydon, Eric, Todd, James, Terry, Ryan, Mike, and Michael. Again, Dan, Graydon, Eric, Todd, James, Terry, Ryan, Mike, and Michael. All right, drivers ready. Marshall's ready on the tone. Here we go. All right, false start, false start, false start. Chad, your presence alone is enough to cause catastrophe on the start of the race. So reminder, we are going on the single tone. Single tone. Again, Dan, Graydon, Eric, Todd, James, Terry, Ryan, Mike, and Michael. All right, drivers ready, Marshall's ready. On the tone, here we go. There we go.
After 30 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Old Guys Rule.
Go for it, Eric. Caution, Karen, clear. Caution after Karen, clear. Caution straightaway, stay wide, stay wide, stay wide.
The top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Old Guys Rule. After 1 minute 30 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Old Guys Rule.
3:25 on the clock. Dan out in the 1, Graydon in the 2, Eric in the 3, Mike in the 4, Ryan in the 5, James in the 6, Terry goes up to 6, Michael in the 7, James in the 8, Todd in the 9.
After 2 minutes left, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Old Guys Rule.
Caution after Karen, clear. .230 on the clock.
31 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Old Guys Rule.
Two minutes on the clock.
2 minutes left. After 3 minutes 1 second, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Old Guys Rule. After 3 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Old Guys Rule.
Eric's trying to close that gap. Up in the 3 spot, 1:15 on the clock. Dan leading us around. Graydon in the 2, Eric in the 3, Mike in the 4, Ryan in the 5, Terry in the 6, James in the 7, Michael in the 8, Todd in the 9. Eric now within striking distance.
1 minute left. After 4 minutes 2 seconds,
Almost cost
the top
him
drivers
everything
are
there.
Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Old
Caution
Guys
sweeper,
Rule.
caution sweeper, caution sweeper. Stay inside, stay inside, stay inside, stay inside, stay inside, stay inside.
45 seconds left. "30 seconds left. After 4 minutes 32 seconds, the top drivers are Dan Jefferson, Graydon Edwards, and Old Guys Rule. "15 seconds left. Todd Powell done. Ryan Johnson done. Dan Jefferson done. Michael Jones done. Graydon Edwards done. James
All right,
Paulson
that's
done.
a race.
Terry Brown done. Old Guys Rule done.
Thank you
All
all for
drivers
coming
are
out.
finished.
Appreciate it.
Tail
Reminder,
whip
we will be
done.
closed Saturday and
The race is
Sunday,
completed.
and we will